These are the 10 best 6-seater SUVs for 2022. SUVs are all the craze right now. They're spacious and practical, and there are an endless amount of options that will suit virtually every buyer's need worldwide. Albeit they can be a bit boring, automakers are striving to create the most exciting SUVs possible. Take for instance Ferrari. They're yet to unveil their Purosangue SUV, but it's rumored to be powered by a naturally aspirated V12, much like the one found in the Ferrari 812 Superfast, and even BMW is stepping up their game with extraordinarily powerful SUVs like the X5M competition. For today's list, we will however not be looking at the fastest SUVs ever made, rather, we'll be having a glance at our picks for the best 2022 SUVs that seat at least 6 passengers. Let's get to it. 10. Mazda CX-9. Mazda is probably one of the most versatile automakers in the world at the moment. They have their foot in almost every single auto segment there is, from their Mazda Miata sports car to their fun little Mazda 3 hatch, but in terms of SUVs, they have plenty to offer as well. They have a wide selection of SUVs ranging from the compact, funky CX-30 to this, their flagship SUV called the CX-9. It might not be the most exciting to look at, but its cockpit is refined, and it boasts some of the most advanced technology available in modern cars. Oh, and not to mention its 2.5-liter turbo4 produces an adequate 250 horsepower and 320 lb-ft of torque capable of taking the CX-9 from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in just 7 seconds. 9. Volkswagen Atlas. Much like Mazda, Volkswagen too dabbled in different segments of the automotive world, especially in the hot hatch realm with their Golf GTI, but that doesn't mean they can't be sensible too. The Atlas is the largest vehicle in Volkswagen's lineup, and its powertrain options range from a 235 horsepower 4-cylinder engine to a 276 horsepower V6. Unfortunately, it's not as well built as the Mazda, but at least it offers similar performance figures and a much larger cabin, albeit at a slight premium. 8. Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Jeep's Grand Cherokee won the hearts of millions worldwide when they introduced the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk a few years back, but we're still waiting for them to give us a next-generation performance-orientated SUV. The current Grand Cherokee is still far from being a boring car, though. The most potent engine currently available with the Grand Cherokee L is a 5.7-liter V8 engine which produces 357 horsepower and 390 lb-ft of torque, and in the real world, that means the 7-seater Jeep can achieve a 0 to 60 time in as little as 6 seconds while still being able to tackle rugged terrains like you'd expect a Jeep to do. Rather impressive if you ask us. 7. Alpina XB7. Alpina is BMW's in-house tuning company, and they've done their magic to numerous BMWs throughout the years, but it's not very often that you see them working with oversized SUVs, but here we are. The Alpina XB7 is based on the pre-facelift BMW X7, and it features a twin-turbocharged 4.4-liter V8 engine that spits out a monstrous 621 horsepower and 590 lb-ft of torque. Alpina did not just make alterations to its powertrain and exterior appearance, but they also changed the entire look of the cabin, wrapping all the seats and panels in the most luxurious materials possible. As you could have guessed, an SUV with this stature doesn't come cheap, and an XB7 has a starting price north of $140,000. 6. Genesis GV80. Genesis is Hyundai's luxury brand, and they're responsible for the most lavish Korean creations like the G90, and the GV80 is their most renowned SUV to date. Not only does it have an eye-catching appearance, but on the inside, the same level of ambiguity is transferred over. The GV80 has some of the toughest rivals ever, including the BMW X6 and the Porsche Cayenne, but overall, we'd argue the GV80 gives you much better value for money. After all, if you put down just over $60,000, you'd be receiving a 375 horsepower V6 powered GV80 with 7 seats and an interior fit for a king, and the ability to reach 60 miles per hour from a standstill in just 5.3 seconds. 5. Tesla Model X. If you're looking to seat up to 7 people and look cool while doing it with vertical opening doors, the Tesla Model X is your go-to option. It's becoming more common to see Teslas on the road by the day, but the Model X still remains one of the coolest SUVs money can buy. If you're willing to spend an infinite amount of money to catapult you and your passengers to 60 miles per hour in around 2.5 seconds, we'd highly recommend buying the $140,000 Tesla Model X Plaid, since its main selling point is acceleration, while it does have 1,020 horsepower at its disposal. Do be warned though, the Model X might have some neat quirks and ridiculous features you never knew you wanted, but it also has some questionable build quality for a vehicle this expensive. 4. Mercedes-Benz GLS. The GLS is Mercedes-Benz's most luxurious SUV to date, and it features everything you'd expect from a vehicle that has a starting price of $78,900. In its most expensive variant, the GLS 63 AMG, this behemoth is powered by a twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 engine that spits out 603 horsepower and 327 lb-ft of torque, which is sent to all four wheels. The GLS 63 might not be as lavish as a Maybach-built GLS 600, but it still has enough seats to fit 7 people, a 0-60 time of 3.6 seconds, an air suspension system that can make the entire car bounce around in style, and an interior fit for an emperor. 3. Volvo XC90. The Volvo XC90 is a highly underappreciated luxury SUV that offers all the same technology you'd expect from an exquisite SUV, like heated seats with a massage function, a leather-drenched interior, a 360-degree camera, and when equipped with a hybrid engine, it feels surreal. The most powerful trim level of the Volvo XC90 is called the Recharge T8, and it combines the might of a 2.0-liter turbo4, as well as an electric motor, for a net total of 455 horsepower and 523 lb-ft of torque. This means that all 7 passengers can experience the same amount of G-force when dashing to 60 mph from rest in just 4.5 seconds without drinking too much petrol either. 2. Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat. Unfortunately, the Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat won't be on sale for much longer, since its 710 horsepower 6.2-liter supercharged V8 is not eco-friendly enough, but that's the reason why it's one of the best. It's not every day that you happen to stumble across a 700 HP plus 7-seater SUV with a noise only comparable to that of the underworld. It might not be the fastest, the most luxurious, or even the most affordable SUV on our list today, but it sure as hell is one of the coolest SUVs produced. It's basically a family-friendly muscle car. 1. Kia Telluride. Kia has been producing better cars ever since the Stinger's arrival back in 2017, and the Telluride is the perfect example thereof. Despite its handsome exterior, in its top spec, the SX, the Telluride gives other premium manufacturers like Porsche a real run for their money when it comes down to value. The Telluride SX costs around $45,000, and then you have a punchy naturally aspirated V6 engine that develops 291 horsepower and 262 lb-ft of torque, and on the inside, it has heated and cooled second-row seats, as well as Nappa leather scattered throughout, and a self-leveling rear suspension to make commuting and towing as comfortable as possible.